Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we're looking at something that's now quite old, very collectible, and is becoming increasingly more difficult to find, especially in this mint unopened condition. Now we are looking at the 1983 release by ERTL from their POW-R-PULL series of diecast model vehicles. And this particular one we're looking at today is of BA Baracus van from the highly popular television series The A-Team. And this particular model is a 1/48 scale of BA's GMC diecast van. Now the A-Team was an American action adventure television series. It aired on the NBC network from January 23rd, 1983 to March the 8th, 1987. And it follows a fictional squad of former US Army Special Forces commandos who, after being falsely accused of a crime, escape military prison and become soldiers of fortune. Now, led by the cunning Lieutenant Colonel John Hannibal Smith, and he's joined by Lieutenant Templeton Faceman Peck, Sergeant B.A. Baracus, and Captain H.M. Murdoch. And the team dedicates itself to helping those people in need. Now, as the TV series starts and the credits roll, you get the voiceover which explains what the A-Team is all about. And it said in 1972, a crack commander unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, then maybe you can hire the A-Team. The series followed those four ex-Special Forces operatives as they continually try to clear their name for that crime that they didn't commit. And during the meantime, they are helping oppressed people overcome the foes by doing what they do best. Interesting enough, the A-Team, although it was all about war and violence, there was never actually anyone killed or seriously injured. During the crashes and the explosions, people were minorly hurt, but no one was actually killed. It was one of those programs so that it was acceptable as a family-style war program. Sadly, though, the ratings for season 4 plummeted quite heavily, and that, I think, was down to the same plots being used over and over again. So in the final season, they changed things up a bit, where the A-Team are finally captured, and they are propositioned by General Hunt Stockwell, who's a mysterious CIA operative, who propositions them to work for him, and in exchange he will arrange for their pardons upon successfully completion of several suicide missions. So the first 3 seasons of the show was extremely popular, had very good ratings, but as I say, season 4 crashed really, and 5 really didn't improve, which brought the series to an end after 98 episodes and 5 seasons. Now, each episode ran for about 48 minutes, and as I say, it aired from January 23rd, 1983 to March the 8th, 1987. Now, in that TV series, one vehicle that was used repeatedly in every episode was B.A. Baracus's van. And this particular diecast model we're looking at today is based on that van as used by Badass Baracus, which is what the BA stands for. Interesting that they had some great names. So Colonel John Hannibal Smith, who was played by the late great George Peppard. Dirk Benedict was Faceman. Dwight Schwartz, who played Howling Mad Murdoch, and of course Mr. T, who was Badass Baracus. Anyway, so this is the model, and this is a 1/48 scale diecast model with durable steel, as it says on the packet, and this is the packet it comes in. And it says recommended for ages 3 and over, ERTL, the A-Team, and there you can see the 4 members of the A-Team. So you got Colonel Smith on the bottom left, B.A. Baracus, Faceman, and finally Howling Mad Murdoch. It says 1/48 scale, POW-R-PULL or POW-R-PULL, motorized action, and durable steel. And at the very bottom of the card, if we lift that up, you can see you've got the 1983, and then you've got all the licensing information at the bottom there, and it's item number 3225. Okay, let's turn the car around to the back. And on the back, not a great deal on the back there. It just says ERTL, join the ERTL Collectors Club and learn more about collecting farm toys, trucks, diecast cars, banks and model kits. Receive your membership pack and newsletter 4 times a year. Are you a collector? Mail to the ERTL company, and there's an address there, and there's your ERTL Club application form there. And it's made in USA by the ERTL company, and there's the address details there, and again the part number at the bottom, 3225, and it's 7JFC, and you've got the barcode at the very bottom there. Okay, so that is the packet. So let's turn it around and let's have a zoom in on the model itself. Now, as we can see, it is obviously still sealed in the packet. And the packet is a little bit creased, as you can see at the back there, and on the underside there, where it's been stored in a storeroom, because these are obviously unsold stock from 1983, and they were in a stock room for, my God, about 40 years. And there was lots of other things stacked on top of them, hence the reason why the bubbles are split. But if we go look past the bubble, let's put a little bit of light on, see if we can get any better view. That's much better. Okay, so here we have the front of the van, and you can see it's the whole van is black apart from the stripes at the side there, and you've got BA's initials at the front, and it says the A team at the back, and you've got the red fin at the top there, and it is the same on both sides. And as you can see, you've got the red rims on the wheels at the bottom. If I turn it over to the bottom, what does it read in the bottom? You've got 3464 at the top there, and it says the A Team 1983, and Stephen J. Cannell Productions, all rights reserved. And there's something printed on the middle there. Let's turn it up that way. If I can just see it. It says the ERTL company. Oh, it's in their address in the USA. Okay, so that's what is printed on the bottom of the model. So 1/48 scale die-cast model. The only functionality you have is that you pull it back and it goes. So it pulls back and go, as you can see. Let's just zoom out a little bit and we get some measurements of it. So we're looking at 11 centimeters in length. Width-wise, we are looking at 5 centimeters wide, and height-wise, if you measure from the bottom of the tyre to the top of the fin, we're looking again at 5 centimeters. So a nice size. It's a shame I haven't got one out the packet, but I daren't open it because of the obviously age. You can see that the bubble is beginning to lift slightly at the top there, but not enough for the model to come out so we can look at it out of the packet. But the whole of the body of the model is durable metal steel, but you've got plastic rims around the side there, and the front bumper and the back bumpers are all plastic. Obviously the fin at the top is plastic, as are the rims. The wheel rims are plastic. The tyres are obviously rubber, and you've got the perspex windows there and the plastic lights at the top. Quite light actually. It's not a heavy model as you would expect. It is fairly light, and of course you've got that wonderful pull back and go action, motorized action. So there we are, a lovely model from an age, well, 40 odd years ago. Okay, so now you're going to say to me, well, how well did they do back in 1983? Well, 1983, when the A Team burst on our screens, it was incredibly popular. It was nothing like we'd ever seen before. It was just an amazing TV series. I think it first started off as a movie, and then it went on to to be a weekly series. But yeah, I mean, it done, obviously the series done very well in the early seasons. So hence the reason why the merchandise was released. So there was quite a lot of merchandise released for the time, really. So we had these models released. There was lots of different size of the 18 van that was released, much bigger ones and much smaller ones released as part of the toy series by different model manufacturers. There was model kits produced, there was action figures, all sorts of merchandise that related to the A-Team. There was obviously t-shirts and hats and jackets and so on. So lots and lots of merchandise. It was a very, very popular show in the early days, as I say, up until really season 4. After 4 years on the air, the ratings did plummet. As I say, we think that's all down to the same plots being used over and over again until they changed things up in season 5. But by then, I think it was too late, and the series come to an end. So the toy line, although the series ended, the toy line did continue for some time. And in actual fact, they're still releasing the 18 vans nowadays in different scales. So yeah, very popular at the time, very popular, and to this day it's still very popular. And of course, they've done a remake of the movie some years ago with Liam Neeson as John Hannibal Smith. So it prompted the release of more merchandise from the 18 series. Okay, let's move forward to 2025, which is where we are today. So we're moving forward 42 years since this was released. Wow. 42 years. I can remember watching the A-Team on Friday nights. I can't believe that was 42 years ago, but there we are. A lot of water under the bridge since then. So, question, do these come up for sale very often on the platforms? Not really. You can find them on the platforms. Most notably, when I was looking, I found them in the USA. I don't think I found any other ones in the UK, and I think I found one in Europe, but that was it. There wasn't very, very many of these around at all, and I'm guessing that's because of the age and obviously the rarity of these items. I think it was only released for that 1 year in 1983, this particular model anyway, before they were moved on to something else. So I don't know the numbers that were produced, but as I say, I can tell you the ones I'm talking about that I saw on the platforms were sealed just like these ones are. Now fortunately, these were part of a shop buyout that we did. There's a shop that's been around since the 1960s. And back in the day, the owner was telling me that they used to sell an awful lot of A-Team merchandise when they first come out. However, as time dwindled on, they got less and less, and they ended up with about half a dozen of these vans left, which they took off the shelves and put in the stock room, and that's where they stayed until we went in and bought out all their stock a few years ago. And in the stock room was about half a dozen of these unopened vans, but like I say, they were put onto a shelf and lots of things put on top of them, so hence the reason why the bubbles are a little bit squashed. But other than the cards are worn, as you can see. They've got the shelf wear and the bending again where they've been not stacked very well, but the model itself inside the perspex window is in mint condition. All of them are. And as of today, we are making these models available to our customers on the Motorized website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find these and many, many other vintage diecast models. And many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you're looking for, something old you'd never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful vintage ERTL POW-R-PULL motorised action, the A-Team BA Baracus GMC van with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. So bye for now.